Hey guys, how y'all doing? My name is Nick Rubolino. I'm the host of the Don't Move, Improve podcast by Munz Construction. A little bit about me. I'm the marketing manager and I've been here for about a year. And before me is Chris Munz, who has been here for 40 years as this is your company. So I'll just start it out quickly. So tell us about how you kind of got started with Munz Construction. I know you gave me a little bit of info that you didn't really think you were going to get into construction, and then it kind of led to this giant thing here in Bucks County.
Yeah, so I started going to tech school, which I think most people assume I went for construction, but I actually went for graphic arts. That's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
After leaving tech school, I got into graphic arts. Just didn't work out, and I kind of wasn't sure what I was going to do. I had grown up in a construction family, so I figured I would do this for a summer or so, and then it just kind of went on from there, and here we are.
Yeah. So like one thing you mentioned there was family. I know when I started, one of the first people that I talked to other than you and Eric was Fred. And Fred's your dad, and he's been employed here for a while. So like how has family played a role in it? And did Fred kind of, because I know he has a background in construction, how did that kind of all come together there?
So yeah, growing up, I would summers, kind of clean houses, help, wherever I could. I wasn't the greatest carpenter in the world, but I kind of went through it, and more than anything, learned a work ethic and so forth from watching my father. As we, went through, I kind of, like I said, decided to go ahead and start my own thing. So it was me, my mother, and a helper in her basement.
Yeah.
And then it just grew from there. And I learned early on, frankly, hire people better than me and manage them. And that's what I've done. And it's worked out so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you're going to graphic design and then you start this in a summer, and then it kind of leads into 40 years of success, and coming here and being here for a year, you learn that the Munz name is super powerful. Like on one of my first days of work, I show up at Wawa with the Munz shirt and it says, "Don't move, improve" on the back. A guy comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, I've seen that everywhere. Don't move, improve." And that's the name of our podcast. So where does that come from? And, how has that led you into creating such a powerful company in the Bucks County area? That little slogan.
I just came up with that. People ask all the time, and it's funny because they, sometimes they'll be like, I know your tagline, don't move, expand, or whatever. And I'm like, as long as you get the number right, I don't care how you say it.
Yeah.
But basically, that was just, I didn't really realize how big of a deal people were going to think and how funny they think it is and catchy, I guess. But I've always kind of liked the idea of just doing different projects. The idea that you can get done doing a job and look and see the difference, to me, is, whether you're doing siding or an addition or kitchen or bath, you just, you get, great, not success, but you get great sense of accomplishment, I think, every day from kind of seeing what's accomplished.
Mm-hmm. So let's take it back a little bit. So we're looking at the 80s and then the 90s and then 2000s. Now we're in the 2020s, halfway through the 2020s. How has construction changed? And more importantly, how have you been able to continue to build trust with your clients over the years?
I think a lot of it, one of the biggest changes is kind of like what we're doing right here. Like I remember my father asking me years ago, I don't know how many years ago, but do you think we're going to need one of those websites? And now, of course, that's ridiculous. Well, we're doing a podcast. I can tell you, I wouldn't have believed we'd be doing a podcast. But here we are. So a lot of the marketing, a lot of tools, a lot of the way things are done. Like I know my sons have tools that I wouldn't even have dreamt of before. So it's always evolving, styles changing, what people want is changing. And I think as far as gaining trust, with social media and the everything you can Google or whatever, you just have to. People can check you out. They're going to pick out a phony, real easy. So you better be honest, and you better, sorry about that. You better know what you're doing, because they're going to know real quick if you're not.
So we're talking about trust, and I think one of the biggest things that sets us apart is the client experience. Like we have a team here that the system has been, the kinks have been worked out for 40 years. How have you been able to build a team that's able to have a system like this, and how have you been able to create the client experience at Munz that we're known for?
I think, a lot of it is, and I'll keep going back to it, hiring good people and listening to them. I mean, I listen to everybody. I take their input. At the end of the day, I'll make the call. But I think it's important to surround yourself with good people and hear what they have to say, because you can't be good at everything. And they're the ones out in the field now. I mean, I was at one time, but not anymore. So you need to know, and you need feedback from the clientele. And it's just like parenting. You have to be willing, to make tough decisions, but also, you have to be willing to listen to the other side and say, okay, say a customer didn't have a good experience. Well, in a lot of cases, you can learn more from that than you can from the person that had a good experience.
Yeah.
So the idea is be willing to take care of any issues you have. There's going to be bumps. Take care of it, and then learn and move on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a learning process every year. There's always something new coming up. And like, as we look into the past, we did siding and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And now it's more or less, we're trying to get bigger jobs, additions, interior renovations, stuff like that. So where do you see Munz Construction going from here, when it comes to project types or in general? Because if you guys didn't know, we just expanded into Newtown. So we now have 3 offices. We have the main one here, the headquarters, and then we have a showroom in Warminster, and then now we have a spot in Newtown for our sales team. Beyond that, where do you see Munz going from here?
I think I could see more retail sales as far as kitchens and baths, as far as selling cabinetry, design services, more of the architectural services, the design build aspect. That's always intrigued me, because I think it takes you from start to finish. I just don't feel there's a lot of companies that will, say clean your gutters or build you a $500,000 addition or everything in between. So I want to be that person, and I want us to be that company that's willing not just do the big jobs, but, call you for the small jobs if they need to.
Yeah, that's a big part. And that's when I'm out at a trade show or a festival of some sort, a lot of people come up to us and are like, do you guys still do small jobs, or do you guys just do additions? And I'm always like, no, we still do everything. Like, you just got to give us a call and see if it works out,
Yep.
When it comes to small repairs, we have, a great field team. And then when it comes to larger jobs, we have a great sales team, and then great architects and designers. And it's all kind of one unit. And that unit works together through a great company culture. How did you build the company culture, or did it kind of manifest on its own? Like, you bring in the right people, the kind of culture follows along, or was this something like in the 80s you were like, all right, I want to start a construction company. I want it to be run like this, and I want the culture to be like this?
Yeah, I wish I could have told you I was that smart, but I wasn't. So it kind of happened. I think, and again, I'll go back to the parenting. I think just like your kids, kind of, they take things from you. They're not going to take everything. They're going to take some. So I think you said it. We don't have a huge turnover. We have over 40 employees. A lot of people come and stay, and I think that's because we do have a good atmosphere. We have fun, but we work. And if we need to take care of issues, we take care of them, but we're
Mhm.
going to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that also resonates to the customers. And I think, you know, you're going to have people in your house, you better be able to trust them. I mean, you're not talking about somebody just delivering something. We're
Mhm.
there. Your average addition's probably 4 or 5 months. So these people are going to be living with you and they become part of the family. So
Mhm.
you have to feel good about it. It's a stressful process for the consumer as well as us. So you got to, the more as a relationship together, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah. Like when I go out to jobs, like the first time I'm there, it's usually during like the foundation phase, and I kind of interact with the clients a little bit, and they're kind of like a little bit quiet. They're kind of hesitant to engage with me or the project manager. And then as the project goes along, you get to see them kind of open up. And like by the end of the project manager literally like knows the name of the kids, and it's like it's another family, a part of
Yep.
Munz, you
Yep.
know?
Absolutely.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So going back to our team, have you found anything that kind of motivates your team, or do you just kind of hire the right people? Or
You know, it's interesting. You know, there really isn't. I hire. I used to obviously hire a lot more people. I have a different process of hiring,
yeah,
and as you can probably
yeah,
that than a lot of people do.
yeah,
To me, a lot of it's a gut. It's great, whatever, you know, you have and so forth. But I just have a feel if somebody has a good work ethic,
Mhm.
a good head on their shoulders, you can teach them a lot of the other stuff. As far as the actual carpentry stuff like that, I don't hire carpenters. They do it. That's a little different because you got to make sure they have the skill
Mhm.
set. But for the people I hire, it's more, are they going to fit in? You know, because you really can't have people that are going to upset the apple cart. You know what I mean? They got to be a team player, you know,
Mhm.
and you got to, I think you treat people like, my big thing is, I remember the kids used to be like, they tell me, so-and-so works for you. I was like, no, they work with me. And,
Mhm.
and that's a big thing to me. We don't, and you know, I say it to you all the time, I'm no better than anyone else. You know, at the end of the day, I'll break the tie if I have
Mhm.
to, but we all work hard. Everybody here has other options. They could go other places. They could do other things. So I don't take anybody for granted.
Yeah. And I think the thing that I noticed when I was getting hired here and really set Munz apart from like the other places I was interviewing is you looked at my resume and you were like, just call me. And then we talked on the phone, and obviously I'm here
you
now.
are.
So I guess
Yeah.
I had a decent first impression,
Yeah.
but I think that transparency goes a long way.
Mhm.
And that can be filtered down through every step of Munz, like from the hiring process to the sales process, to, like even the marketing process. Like I don't, you know, there's no weird marketing here. It's just like, tell everybody what we do, and the work stands for itself.
That's what I
you
say.
know?
I always say, you know, because my wife's like says I'm a salesman, and I say I'm not a salesman. She's like, "Oh, you're a salesman," and I joke, if you ever see how pretty my wife is, you would know I'm a good salesman because
Yeah.
I got her. But it to me, it's really not sales. It's more explaining to people, this is what we do, this is how we do it.
Mhm.
If we're a fit, let's go. If not, no hard feelings. Call me on the next one.
Mhm.
Pretty easy.
Yeah. And I think that's what separates us from other contractors in the area. Other than like the transparency in the sales process, like what separates Munz from you know, Frank in a truck or another established firm?
I think it's, I alluded to it earlier, the fact that we'll do whatever, you know, literally we'll clean your gutters or $500,000 addition, and we can do it all. So it's not a matter of, you know, there's a lot of people that are specialized. They only want to do, you know, decks or additions or kitchens or baths. And I get it because it's hard to be good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, again, we have over 7 project managers. We have 4 designers. We have estimators. We have a young lady that takes care of just the permits, which I would have never believed we'd need somebody just for permits.
Yeah.
But you need the team. I tell people, I get a lot of people like, oh, I wouldn't want to have that payroll or what. I'm like, I wouldn't either. But it's the only way that you can guarantee things get done, because if you're relying, and we have some great subcontractors that we use and they're necessary, but you can't have control as much as you can of people that are actually on the payroll.
And people on the payroll, I know your mom and dad were on the payroll for a while. Fred is still in the Newtown office. What's your favorite part about being his boss? Because I know if I was my dad's boss, I would have a lot of fun with that.
We're not really, and anybody that knows, you know him, he's a unique individual. He's going to be 90 in January. Still drives, still goes to the gym 3 times a week, which is more than I do.
Same.
And he's just, it's hard to explain. We're more like brothers than father and son. I admire him. I don't know anybody that has worked harder than him. And like I said, he's still working. And he's not working because he has to, right? He enjoys it. He loves the banter back and forth. And, I enjoy that. So I kind of, for, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years, he was right outside my door. And so I got to hang out with my father every day, which there weren't always, we used to get into it. If you talk to anybody around here, some of the guys were like, oh boy. But and now that he's moved to Newtown, I don't get to see him as much. I miss it, but I don't know. It's the only thing I know. People are like, so what it's like to have Fred as your dad? I'm like, I don't know. It just, in fact, I call him Fred. So I can call him dad, because I remember being on the job when I was working for the company that he was running. I used to call him dad. I was like, 12, and the guys would make fun of me, oh, daddy. So I was like, I got to call you something else. And he's like, oh, you call me Fred. So, so he's been Fred, and it's worked out because, like I said, we're like brothers. It's awesome.
Yeah. So we have the family, we have the transparency with Munz, and the next part that I want to talk about is kind of community and getting involved with the community and having a rapport with the community is really important for not just you, but Munz and everybody else. So like, what are some of your favorite community projects, and how has getting involved with the community helped Munz?
To be honest with you, the community, I just love charity. I love, giving back. We started a foundation, Pay It Forward people. My daughter runs, and we have great people that help us with that. Basically giving back. We helped with Bobby's Playground, which was an awesome cause.
Right up the road. I see it every single day.
Right up the road. Great people. And, things, of course, you got the golf outings, you got the, whatever you can do. It's a small town. I mean, I'm born, raised, I've never left Holland. So the idea that you can, give back to the places that you grew up, at and with, the nature center, Churchill Nature Center, all these places. It's awesome. I love it. It's, to me, it's still got the small town feel, and my wife jokes, can we just go in Wawa and get a coffee and leave, and like without you gabbing with somebody? But I love that part of it. It's awesome.
I'm sure when you go out to a restaurant or something, it's like Cheers. You walk in there and it's like, oh my gosh, that's Chris Munz. And everybody's like, what's up, Chris? And you're like,
it's
let
not
me
even
get some
that.
privacy.
It's my wife is just like, oh God, you think you're, I'm like, no, I don't, this is all I know. It was more the kids, I know a lot of the police and whatever, and they call me like, Chris, Shane can't be skateboarding, over, which is ironic because Shane, my boys both work here now.
Yeah.
Even that is great. So we got my father, we get the kids. My mom finally retired. She had enough of me, but yeah, no, the community is great, and I'll always give back. I just, when you're, it's interesting because I used to always think a lot of times you wait till something bad happens and then you start a charity based on that. And I'm like, why am I waiting for something bad? I'm just going to try to help where I can. And there's so many good people that, behind the scenes that help. Like, you've been working on the food drive. That's awesome. Just in general, I found people are good. They're just in a lot of cases, they just don't know how to help. Right.
Yeah.
So if you give them the avenue and say, hey, I could use a hand, it's been my experience that, they'll do whatever they can.
Yeah. Yeah. We did the 40 for 40 food drive to celebrate 40 years at Munz this past month. And it was really cool seeing how you just kind of put a message out there. You put this thing on Facebook, you put this thing in a magazine, and people responded to it even until the last day. So I weighed the food like in the morning, and it was at 200 pounds. And I was like, okay, that's a good amount of food. 200 pounds of food that can feed a few families. And then as the day came on, there was more and more people bringing stuff in. And then I just weighed it, and it's at 500 pounds. So I'm like, 500 pounds of food to give back to the community and the veterans. Like, that's amazing. That's
cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
So you've been in this job for 40 years. Are there any projects that stand out in your mind? Because I know I'll put it on screen now, the picture of you in front of your first house that you built. Is there anything else like that you're like, wow, I'm really proud of that even today? Like, I did that thing,
I'll be honest with you. It sounds corny, but they really are. Every project, every family person is unique, right? So even if they have a similar house, the addition, the siding is different. So each one, there's a ton. My own house that I did, the before and after on that, there's certain ones that it's funny because a lot of times I'll get done or we'll get done projects and I'll be like, wow, that really looks cool. And maybe it doesn't resonate as much on Facebook or whatever. And then other ones that I don't think are as big of a deal and the comments go crazy. So it is interesting to see what other people, and I don't think people realize, I'll get all the time, can you? And I always tell people, we can do anything. It's just a matter of, can we bring it in a reasonable budget for you and make you happy? So a lot of I would say the additions that we've done, like I said, my house, there's several additions that we've done that I think are pretty cool.
You guys even did my sunroom for my grandparents back in the day, which I think is cool.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That was, I think, 2008, 2009-ish region. Yeah. I showed up to my interview and you were like, oh, you're living John Swider's house. So like, that's my grandfather. That's really cool. Like, my house, my neighbors and everybody in the area. It's
well, and that's the other thing I'll say is, like, in a small town like this, social media, everything else, you better not mess up too much because, you're out there. And I was raised by an old German. He's still here. And, my name and his name, it's very important. I tell my kids, it means a lot. We're not, that's it. I'm very proud of my name. And I'm not saying we're perfect, but we're going to take care of whatever issues we have. And we're going to make you proud.
Yeah. Weirdest thing you've ever found during a remodel or a construction project?
My father still has it, a statue of the Virgin Mary.
That's cool. That's cool. What's your go-to lunch spot while in the office?
Wawa.
Wawa? If Munz had a mascot, who or what would it be?
I think a chipmunk.
A chipmunk?
I have no idea why. No idea why.
I originally thought, because Munz is dog friendly, so I thought like Shelby or
chipmunk.
Chipmunk? Okay. Can you tell me 5 facts about you that don't revolve around construction? One thing I know is you like photography.
I love photography. I'm actually can be shy, which people...
Interesting.
Yes, people find that. Huge Eagles fan.
Obviously, this is all Chris's stuff, by the way. Huge
Eagles fan. Other than that, I don't really like to travel. I joke. People are like, so, where would you like to go? And I'm like, oh, I think, Richburg's nice this time of year. And my poor wife, she likes to travel. We have a cabin I like to go to. So
Yeah. The before and after photos of the cabin are crazy.
yeah, you should post them. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I think that is pretty much it. We're right at our time. So thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you for checking out the first episode of the Munz Construction Don't Move, Improve podcast. We'll have more guests coming soon.
Excellent.
Cool.
Thank you.